Hey everybody, welcome to Glow Up Handbook. Today we're going to be doing a frog pose masterclass that will also double as a flow that will help get you closer to a middle split. So we're going to start with our feet on each side of the mat, about hips with distance a little bit wider, and you're going to do hip drops. So you're going to drop your hips, letting your knees point out slightly, and lift. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. This will get you nice and warm in the hips for a deep stretch. Lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop. This will be a more advanced flow, but I'll have modifications for all levels. I want you to drop onto all fours. You're going to pull your left knee in and make circles outward. So just making circles here, going out, then in. Then we're going to switch directions. So whatever direction you were going, go the other way. Again, this is another really good warm-up exercise to get your hips nice and warm. Now go ahead and reset and then switch sides, going out, then in, making circles here. It's really good to get your hips nice and warmed up before you do deep stretching. That's how you prevent injury. Switch directions. Awesome job. Now what I want you to do is I want you to slide your knees out in line with your hips, toes together into a frog pose, kind of a narrow frog pose here, so your toes are touching. You don't need to push yourself way too hard here. This is just meant to get you kind of comfortable in frog pose because we're going to be taking some deeper variations here. Some things to think about here are, like I said, knees in line with hips. You want to think of pulling your core in slightly, so you don't want to let your belly just sag to the ground. Options to take, you can lie all the way down as I just showed on screen. You can be on your elbows or up on your hands. Something to note is that being up on your hands is actually a more advanced variation. It sounds like it'd be a little bit easier because you're not all the way down to the mat, but when you push up onto your hands, it pushes your hips towards the earth, so it makes the stretch a lot deeper. So that's good information to have if you're wanting to make it easier. Elbows is probably the easiest variation, and then down and up would be more difficult. Now what I want you to do is separate your feet. So your feet are going to be in line with your knees, feet flexed to protect the knees. We're going to go up on our elbows for a second and pull our core in and hold. Just holding here, breathing. Frog pose is definitely a really intense flow, so this will be a mentally challenging flow, but I want you to stick with it because it will get easier. If you want, you can lie all the way down. Breathe in for 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Use your breath to help calm your body and stay in the pose. Awesome. So come out of that by pulling your feet together and then pulling your knees in a little closer. We're going to come into a wide-kneed child's pose here for 30 seconds just to reset before we go into some deeper asanas. Just breathe for me. Calming the body, calming the mind. Remembering your why you're doing this flow. What is your goal here? To get better at frog pose, to get your middle splits, to get more flexible. So go ahead and grab one block and place it under your left knee. So you're going to place your left knee on it first, letting your foot be in line with your knee, foot flex, and then slide the other knee out. Both are going to be directly in line with your hips. So one knee will be elevated here. I want you to go up onto your elbows, pulling your core in, and hold. You're doing a great job. We're going to be doing Mostly minute holds in the beginning, and then as we start to get more advanced later on, it's going to go down to 30 seconds. And then we'll do a minute at the end for those who want to try middle splits. You will definitely be nice and warm for it. Perfect. Pull your feet together, push up onto your toes to get out of that, and then switch it to the right side. So block's going to go under your right knee, feet flexed in line with the knee, and then let the other knee slide out. Just hold here another minute. Something to note is we're also going to be taking breaks throughout, so we will have 30-second child's pose holds, so you won't be just constantly going the whole time. So you can look forward to those breaks if you're having a hard time. Don't forget to breathe. Feet together, push up. Now what you're going to do is grab your second block, and you're going to put a block under both knees. So this can be a little hard. I start by placing my left knee on the block, kind of using my toes to ground myself, then pull the other block under my right knee so I can see where it goes. Then I'll slide my feet out in line with my knees and flex my feet. So this is definitely going to feel very intense. It's going to be a little bit of a mental challenge as well as physical, but I want you to stick with it. It doesn't matter how deep you go, just holding as long as you're feeling in the hip flexors safely. That's all that matters. You can see in my face that I'm definitely feeling it. I've been pretty tight, and haven't been as consistent as I usually have been stretching, so this was difficult for me. Awesome. Put the blocks away, and as promised, we're going to go into a 30-second child's pose hold here. I want you to use this time to just fully relax. Think of melting your body into the earth, breathing deeply, and reconnecting. Awesome. So now what I want you to do is we're going to start where we start at the beginning. Slide into a frog's pose, knee in line with the hips with your toes together. I want you to really feel how much easier this is after doing it with the blocks, how much easier your hips slide towards the earth. I feel a lot more comfortable this time than I did to start, and I hope you feel the same. And if not, it is no problem. You have to remember that I've been stretching for quite a bit, so my body's really adapted out getting warm. Sometimes it'll take longer. So sometimes if you're really trying to get into middle splits, doing 2 to 3 rounds of that, or just one, depending on where your body's at. It also changes day to day, how you're feeling, what activities you've done. Beautiful. So go ahead and slide your feet out. Again, feet in line with knees, feet flexed. You're going to hear me say that a lot, so you're nice and safe. And hold. Again, frog pose will never be easy, but it should feel easier than when you started. You can lie all the way down if that's comfortable for you. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Come on out of that into a narrow knee child's pose this time. So legs are going to be together, hands in front of you, just melting and breathing. Awesome. So go ahead and slide into a frog's pose with your feet together, and I want you to push up onto your hands using your right hand and then down. So alternating hands each time. You're going up onto your hands, then down to your elbows. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Then slide your feet out. And you're going to push your hips back and forth just slightly. So when your hips go behind your knees, it's going to feel much deeper. And then when it goes forward, it's going to feel a little bit easier. Changing the angle of the stretch here. Going forward and back. Forward and back. Forward, back. Awesome. So you're going to feet together, and we're going to repeat that one more time. So up onto your hands, down to your elbows, 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 up onto your hands, down onto your elbows, hands, elbows, hands, elbows. Slide your feet out, and we're going to go back and forth once again. So forward, back, forward, back. You should feel this. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. So as you can see, I'm taking this nice and slow. You want to be careful. This is a very deep stretch. No need to rush it. Now, if you're ready and want to advance, if not, stay in a frog pose hold, or you can extend your left leg into a half middle split, half frog here. Make sure to breathe deep. Awesome. So I'm just going to scoot over to make room for that other leg. And then you're going to extend your right leg this time. This was a struggle. I am so sore. And then hold. Half middle split, half frog. Just a few minutes left in this flow, so stick with me. We're going to do a few more harder exercises, and then we'll cool down. Awesome. So come on out of that. Shake it out. Do what you need to do. You can come into a child's pose. I would do a narrowed knee and let your body melt into the earth here. Awesome. So I want you to slide forward, coming into a frog pose with your toes together. Push up onto your hands and twist to one side. So I'm twisting to my left here and just holding and breathing. If this isn't in your practice, then I want you to stay in frog pose, down on your elbows or whatever is comfortable, and just look over your shoulder. Perfect. You're doing awesome. Awesome. Now switch sides. You're going to place your hand on your opposite leg and look over that shoulder. Twisting to the other side. I'm twisting to my right now, but you can twist to whatever side is comfortable for you. Awesome. So I'm just going to move the mat out of the way. We're going to be going into some middle split holds for those who are ready, or stand frog. And the mat is hard to slide on. It's an aloe mat. They're the best mats, but not super slidey. They're very grippy. So come into a frog's pose. Then go ahead and slide into your middle split. So you can just extend your legs. I'm a little more sore, so I had to push back into it a little bit. So holding either a frog's pose up on your hands if possible, or a middle split. Or you can do a half middle split, half frog, and just switch sides. Just remember that what you do on one side, you want to do on the other. So if you can do a half frog, half middle split on one side, don't do it if you can't at least somewhat do it on the other side. You want to make sure you're stretching evenly to prevent imbalances later on. Awesome. Push out of that, back into straddle. Then come into frog pose again. Slide back into your middle split. Give that one more try for those who are attempting it. Or just move your feet in and out of frog. Everybody come back to frog no matter where you are. Lie all the way down. Then push up. Come into a child's pose. We're in the last minute of the flow. I want to thank you guys for flowing with me. If there's any flows you would like to see, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to take requests or answer any questions you have. I'm now coming into a narrow knee child's pose with my arms behind me. This is very, very relaxing. If you liked this flow and want to see more, be sure to like and subscribe. Option to come up onto your head here and just round out the back. Push up into a wide leg forward fold, grab opposite elbows, option to bend your knees and keep them straight, and just rock back and forth. Letting your heart rate and body calm down after some very, very intense stretching. Perfect. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching.